Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Saturday, March 23rd, 2019. You guys said you wanted the tournament more, but a lot of you want everything, so we're going to do it all. Like to be a people pleaser. I started decoding the NBA games. I went through, so we should be able to move through the NBA more quickly today. We'll start with college basketball because that's the priority, but let's first review. So, checking the chat real quick. Playboy needs a good parlay. AA's got a thought. Denim thinks Wofford can upset Kentucky. The experts seem to be on that Wofford upsetting Kentucky, but I don't know with that 128 riddle with the Tar Heels. I just feel like those teams are destined to meet. What I saw the experts saying is Wofford's a really good three-point shooting team, and Kentucky can't defend the three. That's what I heard from the experts. Let's go over the games yesterday. Some quick review, and then we'll get into today's games. So we like the Magic. They had the better riddle. Memphis did have a little riddle on the board, but the Magic had the better riddle to get it done at home. Stay on 38 losses. Memphis and Orlando, 38. The game in Orlando. Give the Grizzlies their 43rd loss in Florida. Magic did pick up the 22nd win on the 22nd of the month as well. The one thing that was possible was Memphis and Orlando had the overlap at 34. That was the possible upset, but the Magic had the slightly better riddle. The Cavs were a good pick to cover the spread. They had a chance of winning. They could have stayed on 53. They did cover the spread, so if you took those points, you won with the Cavs. Nuggets looked good to beat the Knicks. That happened. The game that really surprised me was this one. I thought the Raptors would get that 52nd win. We had them picked to sweep the Thunder. They won at Oklahoma City, and then they lost at home. Raptors picked up their 22nd loss on the 22nd. But really thought they were going to get 52. Oklahoma City has all those connections to 52, so that was a surprise. We like the Rockets to beat the Spurs. That seemed pretty straight away. Houston 31, Spurs got the 31st loss in Houston. Houston, Texas 46, 46th win at home. And that sets up the Rockets for their next win, which should be 47 over the 47 team. Bucks had the better riddle to beat the Heat. Heat had one riddle on the board, but didn't seem that they were going to get out of Milwaukee without getting that 37th loss. Milwaukee 37 picked up the 37th loss in Milwaukee. The Nets, they did give the Lakers their 41st loss, and there has been a lot of 41 connections with the Nets this year. LA 41, Brooklyn 41, so I can't say I'm shocked. But the thing was, we had 37 date numerology and 19 date numerology. Nets could have been 37 and 37 in Los Angeles. Los Angeles 37. The Lakers could have got their 37th all-time home win against the Nets. And again, pick up that 19th win on the 19th date. They didn't do it. So I think the Nets are in good shape to pick up L37 in their next game, which is Portland. Portland 37. But yeah, I'm not shocked about that one, especially with what's going on with the Lakers. But with all those 37s, thought the Lakers had a good chance there. So it was okay. 5-2 in picks in NBA yesterday. Not the end of the world. NHL. Let's see. So the Wild did get that big upset. Wild 24. They gave the Capitals that 24th loss. I said if you're going to take the Wild, take the puck line, because good chance they could play it close, maybe even possibly lose. But that 24 was the big standout number. And the Wild got their 79th points on the 22nd, 79, the 22nd prime. They could have stayed on 77. Remember, Washington, D.C. on the 77th meridian. Their next opponent, North Carolina, 77. So it was a tight riddle. I thought the smart play was the Wild with the points. And that did pan out. And let me check who the Capitals play again next. I think they play Philadelphia, if I remember right. Whoops. Yeah, so the Philadelphia Flyers, that's what else we were saying. If the Capitals lose, they'd be in great shape to pick up their 96 points over the Philadelphia Flyers, because Philadelphia Flyers is 96. Sharks-Ducks was a tough one. Pointed out the Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, 71. They could get their 71st points at home. We see a lot of teams getting the full team name Gematria. The matchup with that, which is 71 here at home. So the Ducks did do that. Sharks are now in great shape to get their 44th win in their next game, which is Detroit. Detroit's 44. The Ducks also got their 64th series win on the 64 date numerology. So the thing for the Ducks that made it tough yesterday is they could have got their 37th loss as well on the 37 date. So 2 close reads. I think puck line was the way to go. I think that's what we said. Puck line for Wild. I know we said that, and I think that's what we were leaning towards the Ducks, but they were tight reads. So college basketball. Let's do the college basketball review. Looks like LSU's up on Maryland. All right, hold on. We want to go to yesterday. All right, so Duke beat the team from the 39th state. No surprise there. Virginia got past Gardner-Webb. Don't forget that bus crash riddle. North Carolina, no surprise there. Got past Tennessee, no surprise. Texas Tech, no surprise. Houston, no surprise. Buffalo, no surprise. Virginia Tech, no surprise. UC Irvine, we had this picked. The Anteaters became 31-5 in the coach's 315th all-time game. So that hit. Oregon and Wisconsin was tough because this was Oregon's 38th game in the tournament. Oregon equals 38. Wisconsin, if I remember right, I think Wisconsin was at 38 tournament wins. I know their coach was going for the 81st tournament win in the 81st tournament. He didn't get it. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. Hey, this is Jonathan.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm in a family reunion in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I just want to make this real quick. Check this out. Yesterday, I turned 50 into $963.
Awesome.
I had Yale plus 6.5, Minnesota plus 5.5. They won straight up. We talked about the Minnesota thing.
Right.
Liberty plus 6.5. They won straight up. UC Irvine plus 4.5. They won straight up. And Buffalo. So I turned 50 into $963 yesterday.
Congratulations, man. Great work.
Thanks, man.
Keep it up, Jonathan.
Yeah, I was just calling to let you know that.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that. You have a great day.
Peace.
All right. Take care, man. Well, go Jonathan. Jonathan started off the last NFL season hot, too. He made a bunch of money. And again, that's why the strategy is to bet conservative and you know, make smart bets, try to win big, and don't go crazy the next day. You know, don't put all 963 on the table. Make another smart $50 bet. Try to do it again. If you lose, so what? You got, you know, with that kind of money, he's got 19 more attempts with $50 bets. He could lose 19 in a row and break even, but obviously he's going to hit some in there and he can keep building his earnings. Anyway, this Wisconsin-Oregon game, this is what we were looking at before the game was played. Wisconsin's coach was going for the 81st, his 81st win. It was the 81st tournament. I just couldn't lay off that. But I did see how they were already at 38 wins, and it was going to be Oregon's 38th game. And we talked about how Oregon won the first ever men's basketball tournament back when they were the Webfoots. Webfoots equals 39. So it's going to be the Oregon's next game will be their 39th. Yeah, there was a chance there at the upset. We mentioned that in the Decode, but I just couldn't lay off that 81. So I'm not mad about it. It's just that's what's tough going, you know. Sometimes the coach, what's in their record is the magic tell, sometimes not. Cincinnati, I had them advancing because their next game would be on a 66 date, Cincinnati 66. And I talked about how if Tennessee beat them, it'd be the perfect team for Tennessee to become 22-22 against. Instead, they're going to face Iowa. It's interesting because Iowa has that 21 connection and Tennessee's at 21 tournament wins right now. That'll be that matchup. But caller yesterday pointed out that Bearcats equals 174. or maybe, no, excuse me. Cincinnati also equals 174, and Iowa's coach got the 174th win. So I was going with the date numerology and the teams that would advance there, which overall has been a pretty good strategy. It didn't work in every game. Here's the 11 that beat the 6. I just knew that one of my 11 6s would be wrong because every year an 11 beats a 6. Ohio State has also never lost to Iowa State before. They were 6-0 before this game. They're now 7-0. I was thinking Iowa State would make Ohio State 6-1 against them because Ohio equals 61. It's the 18th prime. The season began in 18. But I did see that Ohio State had never lost to Iowa State, so it just made me wonder. I was like, God, could that be the 11? And it ended up being it. But this game surprised me too. Utah State could have got their 29th win of the season. Huskies equals 29. And there was something else there too. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Hold on, I want to pull that up. So they were going for the 29th win. They could have got it. Utah State's now 5-4 against Washington. Upset does equal 54. I suppose there's that. It was also the Utah State coach's 35th game, and this was the 35th March Madness. So I thought that was a good sign for him as well. Washington's coach could have got the 22nd loss. Utah's 22. So yeah. Washington became 19-17 in the tournament. They did get their 19th tournament win in 2019. But I thought Utah had the better numbers there. Liked Oklahoma to win because that sets up who's Oklahoma play next? Oklahoma equals 31, and they'll play Virginia next, and Virginia can get their 31st tournament win over Oklahoma in the next game. So that made perfect sense to me. Really like Liberty to win. Had them pegged to beat Mississippi State. Their numbers were perfect. Let's go back to the Liberty thing. So Mississippi State was 1-0 against Liberty. Bulldogs equals 29. Liberty's next win was their 29th. Liberty located in Virginia. We think Virginia's doing things this year. Liberty equals 44. They're playing on a 44 date. Mississippi State's coach got their 56th loss. Liberty's known as the Flames. Flames 56. Mississippi State became 11-11 in the tournament as a 5 seed. 11's the 5th prime. They became 11-11 by losing. And Liberty is now 1-3. Remember, Liberty equals 91, which is the 13th triangular. So I don't know if did Jonathan say he had Liberty to win yesterday? I don't think he said that. Too bad he didn't. If maybe he did. He had some big multiplier, but man, if he would have had Liberty in there, I'm sure it would have really multiplied. I was thinking that VCU and UCF was tight, but I was thinking that VCU would advance because then Duke would play the Virginia team, and I'm expecting that Duke-Virginia championship. So I thought there was some symbolism there. I'm not going to say that worries me about Duke and Virginia not meeting in the championship. I still think the riddle's there and intact. But that was my thought because the VCU-UCF was a tight riddle. I was just thinking. Might be a little foreshadowing. VCU 35, 35th March Madness. The VCU Rams equals 25, and they were at 25 wins. That was a thought. Could their season end at 25 wins? Well, it did. They were playing the UCF Knights, which is 101, the 26 prime. They could have got that 26. UCF was going for their 24th win against the Rams, and Rams is 24 too. So they did get that 24th win against the Rams. Oh, that was the other thing for UCF. They could have become 23-9 with a loss, that prime number relationship that hits so often. It didn't hit here. Instead, they got the 24 against the Rams. They became 24-8 on the season, defeating the 8 seed. The VCU coach was at 43 wins. Could have got his 44th on the 44 date. He didn't. Instead, he stayed at 43 against the Florida team. Florida 43. So it's also UCF's 35th season, so they have a little 35 magic too going. But yeah, that one was tight. I was just thinking it would be Duke and Virginia symbolism. So we did better on the first day. It wasn't so bad on the second day. The Liberty upset came through, which is pretty nice. I hope you guys made some money on that because I know that paid well. And I didn't see any of the experts call Liberty to upset Mississippi State. So that one was all numbers right there. But overall, it wasn't a bad day yesterday. Decent in the NBA. NHL, if you went with the puck lines on the underdogs, you got it. So, yeah, it was not a bad day. It was not a bad day. All right, let's get into today's games because we got a lot to go over. I'm going to do it all for you guys. We'll review it at the end. If you can't hang around for the whole thing, you can always come back and watch the review. But, of course, a lot of these games start soon. So I'm going to rely on you guys, the chat, heavy today. I know somebody said that they're thinking Wofford upsets Kentucky. The experts definitely had Wofford pegged to beat Kentucky. I was watching this morning. I don't think Kentucky's going to get beat again because they came in with 128 wins. And if they face the Tar Heels, by the way, today, you guys, when I do the decode, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I know what this guy's going to say. He's going to say Kentucky's on 6 losses and the game's on CBS. What's up, man?
What's going on? The Kentucky game, man, you got to start looking at the coordinates of the cities, too. Because Jacksonville coordinate is 30 and 81. So Wofford walked in with the 30 win coordinates.
All right, let me put that up on the screen so people can see. Who came in with the 30 wins?
Wofford.
Oh, Wofford. Right.
And Jacksonville, Florida coordinates is 30 and 81.
That's a good observation. 81st tournament. The other thing is Jacksonville and Florida both summed to 43 like Kentucky. So.
And what's Kentucky tournament record?
Let me pull that back up. I'm not sure that they're updating this. Last night I was checking to see if I saw updates and I didn't, but I wrote everyone's tournament record down on these notes so we can add it up right here. Hold on. I know Kentucky came in with 128, so they should be at 129 wins. So right now they're 129 and 52.
Oh, okay, 129 and 52.
Yeah.
129 and 52. Okay, so 130, right?
They're going for 130, right?
So, I thought I saw fucking 130.
Wofford is 30, by the way. Wofford's 30. Wofford equals 30 as well, and they're at 30 wins.
Yep, look at this. And then Jacksonville FL equals 52. So see how that works, Zach?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, man. It's just shit. We just gotta get that certain shit that they doing. That's how they doing this shit.
But I know that a lot of people are going to be putting money down on Wofford watching television today because the announcers are really hyping up this upset. They were all saying the same thing, that Wofford shoots the 3 ball and Kentucky can't guard it. So there's probably a lot of people like, okay, that's the narrative. But I don't think so. I don't think Kentucky's going to lose. So
yeah, what's the day? What's the day of the year is it today?
It's the 82nd day of the year.
82nd day of the year. Let's see. So you said they could get their 130, okay. So that's like 13 too.
Sure. The big thing for me, though, is just that they came in with 128 wins, and if they face the Tar Heels in the Elite Eight, Tar Heels equals 128, and Tar Heels can get their 128th tournament win over Kentucky in that game. So to me, that's the foreshadowing.
Right. Yeah, I like Kentucky too. So I noticed Vegas too, man. They not letting all the favorites cover either. Like the way I made my money a little different yesterday. What I did is when Duke was down, like Duke went down, Duke only led by 3 points at halftime. So I played the second half and I live bet too. So it was less because Duke didn't cover that 26-point spread. So. And then I try to look at those patterns too, and that's what people try to look for because I think they're gonna let Duke cover this next game. So.
I really think the covers all just go to where the money is. Like if there's too much money one way, I don't think they let them cover.
Yeah, unless you live bet, that's why you gotta pay attention.
Right.
Spread drops down. I caught it at 19.5.
Right.
So,
all right. Appreciate it, man. Let's keep it moving.
Yep.
All right. Take care. Okay. So I can't say that I think Wofford's going to upset Kentucky. I think they're going to stay right there. All right, Florida, Michigan. Now, my thought was this. I had Florida beating Nevada in the first round. Nevada equals 20. Florida got their 20th win by beating Nevada. And I had Florida versus Michigan in this upset. This game is on a date with 65 numerology. Hold on. Let's just go back and look at all my notes. I want to see what else I saw for Michigan. Not Michigan State. Okay, so yeah, all right, Michigan's coach is next. So Michigan's coach got his 277th win over Montana. Their name's the Grizzlies. Grizzlies 59, so 277, the 59th prime. The bracket came out on a date with 59 numerology. I'm thinking that maybe Michigan just stays right there. That was kind of my thought. Michigan got their 60th win. So now they play Florida. And the other reason I had Florida advancing to this date is because Florida equals 65. This game's on a date with 65 numerology. The winner of this Florida-Michigan game will go to play on the 28th, which is a date with a life lesson number of 43, and Florida also equals 43. Now, as I say that, just realize that hasn't been a perfect strategy. Like I had Cincinnati, for example, advancing because they would play on the date numerology that corresponded, and obviously that didn't happen. But the other thing about Florida is the only team left alive that could meet up with Gonzaga that has a 35 connection. And Gonzaga equals 35, just like Catholic. This is the 35th March Madness. If Gonzaga played Florida in the Elite Eight, they would get their 35th tournament win over the Gators. And again, Gators is 35. So that was my thought. That's why I had Florida advancing in this Michigan game. And hold on, let me go to the chat here before I get ahead of myself. I said I was going to keep up with the chat. Let me scan the chat real quick. I just wanted to see if anybody had anything great to say. And just as a reminder, if you guys want to call in, I'm just going to post the number in the chat real quick. You guys are more than welcome to call in. If you got something really important to say, don't be shy. 509-731-0567. But it says I missed a call 8 minutes ago. I didn't see any Maybe you called while I was on the line with Jonathan or something. If I missed a call, please call back. But I'm just scanning over the chat real quick. Oh, Jonathan did have Liberty. I'm just going back over the chat, see if I missed anything. Dave's filling Virginia to win it all. Remember, the narrative Virginia is if Virginia won the championship, if they won the championship, they'd get their 35th tournament win, and that coach would stay at 89 losses. Isaac, I'm feeling Florida today. I'm feeling that upset because of what I just talked about. So. Well, here's a guy who's not shy. Hold on, New York. Call back, New York. What's up, man?
Iowa equals 21. They playing in Des Moines, Iowa.
Right. I know. Yeah.
What channel they playing on?
Hold on. I got to go back down to that game. Is that not today's game? That's not today's game. That's tomorrow.
Iowa.
That game's in CBS. So I see you're saying that Tennessee could get that 6th loss, but hold on. There's 21
as well.
That's true. That would keep Tennessee at or no. Hold on. That's not right.
Oh, we doing Florida, Michigan.
No, about your Tennessee-Iowa thing that you're bringing up. If Tennessee lost to Iowa, they would stay at 21 tournament wins too. So there is a thought there.
I wasn't even talking about that game, but now I got you thinking otherwise. I'm talking about the Florida-Michigan game because they're playing in Iowa.
Oh, okay. That's why you said Iowa. Got it. Okay, so I see what you're saying. Florida can get their 21st win in Iowa, and CBS is also 21. Okay, I'm following you now.
I hate this shit, man, because I know I'll be right. Like, I hate this shit. I'm telling you, man, the Matrix fucks whoever they fuck with. They do not want me and you on the same page because I know my information.
Well, it sounds like we're in agreement on this game. We're on agreement because I'm saying.
I know. We are right sometimes. I just hate this shit. Every fucking time I say this shit. I hate it.
All right. Well, that's a great observation about the game being in Iowa. So.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that.
You might want to look up the coordinates too. Don't forget about the coordinates.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. I know you're right about the coordinates mattering in big games. I've looked at that in Super Bowls and stuff. I don't normally do it for day-to-day games, but it is thorough. Des Moines, Iowa. Let's just check out where they are at. Oh, I need coordinates. Okay. They're on the 41st and 93rd. I don't know if that's going to factor in here, but
41 to 13 fine. 91. State spell out 13. Don't you get 91?
No, 93. 41st parallel, 93rd meridian.
Okay, 93rd. Okay. Yeah. The only thing, and then I'm gonna bring up this too. This brings duality though. The only thing I can see is Saturday equals 53. Florida could get a 16th loss. But I don't think I'll go over their TVs, but
yeah.
Yeah, man. So, and then you could do a Wells Fargo Arena because these arenas help too, man. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna call this New York guy back. He's trying to get through.
All right. Yep.
All right, take care. All right, so New York, I'm calling you back because you were trying to get through. By the way, I did download WhatsApp. I don't know how to use it yet. Caller?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, this is Denham.
Hey, what's up, Denham?
Hey, I'm calling about Wolford, Kentucky. I know you want to get on, but if they advance to the Sweet 16, would it still be in Jacksonville?
Hold on.
Do you know?
Hold on. Oh, shoot. That's not... Man, hold on. I got a bracket somewhere that shows where all the games are at.
Okay. I think it will be, and then the Elite Eight would be in Kansas City.
Hold on.
So I think the next round after 32 is still in Jacksonville, like if they play Houston or Ohio State.
Okay. I'm trying to pull up that bracket because I do have the locations here.
Okay, well, this is why I want to know. I'm sure we all believe Houston is probably going to beat Ohio State. So, Houston equals 31. If Wolford wins in advance, they'll have 31 wins to go against Houston. And Jacksonville, Florida equals 315. And if they upset Kentucky and lose their next game, they'll be 31-5 in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, that's a good observation.
And I see John Calipari is on 210 all-time losses. I typed in Wolford University, and it comes to 210, but it's not called Wolford University. It's called Wolford College. And their mascot is the Terrians, I believe.
Right.
And Terrians have that 112 thing going on, the reverse of 211.
Okay.
So I just wanted to mention that. I have Wolford winning.
Okay, I do see your thought there with Houston and Wolford meeting in the 31. It is a good observation. I just, again, that 128 thing, Kentucky coming in with 128. Did you see what Rick Pitino said about Kentucky this year?
No, I didn't.
He said they will be in the Final Four this year.
Oh, wow.
So I just see you could be right. I mean, stick to your guns. Your 31 observation is a great observation, but man, I see UNC and Kentucky meeting because of that 128 thing. If UNC and Kentucky meet in the Elite Eight, UNC can get their 128th win against Kentucky. Tar Heels equals 128, and again, they came in with 128 wins. But honestly, Denham, you've had some great thoughts. You've been right where I've been wrong. So I mean, stick with your guns. I'm just saying. And go check out what Rick Pitino said.
How many tournament wins Wolford has? Where can I find how many tournament.
Hold on, I have it all written down here. Let me pull it up. And the numbers I have written.
Last question.
The numbers I have written down are before the tournament began. So hold on. Is this my thread? All right. So before the tournament began, Wolford was 0-4. So now Wolford's 1-4. They're 1-4 now.
They're 1-4. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Got that first tournament win. All right. Welcome. All right. See you. Okay. So he does make a good point about how Wolford could meet up with Houston because Houston does have that strong 31 connection. But remember, Wolford's 30. They could be done here at 30. They got their first tournament win. Again, the experts think this is going to be the upset of the day. There are a lot of experts think Wolford's going to beat Kentucky because they can shoot the 3-ball and Kentucky can't guard it. Murray State, Florida State. So remember, Murray State has this guy that they're saying is going to go number 2 in the draft behind. By the way, for my decode today, I just have all the exceptions up for the reduction cipher. But Morant is the star player of Murray State. He's got the 81 thing with the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order. 81, 81st tournament. FSU, I think, has the 35 thing going. FSU's 35. Murray State's the Racers. Let me just think about some things here. Murray State. Racers. Racers got that. I was thinking that Marquette would actually get him because Marquette's coach's next win was his 98th. He didn't get it. Murray State Racers. So I don't see. Let me see. Try and see if there's any 29 connection here. Whoever gets this win gets 29. Games on TNT. Let's come back and look at what the. I'm gonna put this over here. Close this. Put this over here too. So many different things to look at here. All right, Murray State. So Murray State came into the tournament 3-16. So they're now 4-16. They're 4-16. And Florida State. Let me see. Florida State came in. Florida State came in 19-16. So Florida State's at 20 wins now. They're 20-16. Murray State is 4-16. Okay, so I did see something about 17 here when I was looking at this. Murray State Racers. They have this connection to 153, the 17th triangular. They could give Florida State their 17th loss. Whoever wins this game is probably going to play Gonzaga next. Gonzaga will have to beat Baylor. So my thought about FSU meeting up with Gonzaga again came back to the 35 thing because Gonzaga equals 35. It's the 35th tournament. Then you get this battle of 35 teams. Name's Ja Morant, right? Ja Morant is 29. And come back and look at that. Woo, man. So Murray State could get their 29th win. Ja Morant, 29. Let me look at Hartford here real quick. Hartford CT. Hartford, Connecticut. Is it all about Ja Morant? If it's all about Ja Morant, it kind of does make sense for them to get the 29th win. And that is his name, right? Ja Morant. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, Ja Morant. All right, here we got Jeremy. I know Jeremy's done some great research on this, man. What's up, Jeremy?
How's it going, Zach?
Hey.
I had a note for the Murray State game.
Please.
So we know Morant is 81, Murray State's 81, so that's been good for the 81st tournament. But his full name, I see on the screen, Demetrius Jamel Morant. That also equals 81.
Wait, wait. Where is Murray State 81? Because I was going to say, whoa, I didn't realize that.
Murray ST.
Do they do it that way? Okay, well,
I don't know.
It is there. You're right about that with the abbreviation. Okay. All right, sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah. Type in his full name, Demetrius Jamel Morant.
Let me copy it. Okay. All right, let me get rid of the job part that's in there. Oh, and that his full name's 81 too. How about that?
Yeah, and the reduction. And so his full name in regular equals 288, and Florida State, if they lose, will be 28-8.
That's a really great observation. That's a really great observation. And then Ja Morant's 29 too. They could get that 29th win.
Yeah, and then if you look at their coach, he has 87 wins right now. So if he gets his 88th, Florida State Seminoles equals 88.
Murray State's coach is going for his 88th win?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not double check, but I'm pretty sure he had 86 to start the tournament.
All right. Well, I'm sure your research right. Great work, Jeremy. Yeah, Murray State looks like they could get it here very well.
So let's see here. I had a couple notes on Florida, Michigan. So I lean towards Michigan because if they win, they'll be 30-6, and then they would likely face Texas Tech the next round. And Texas Tech's coach is Chris Beard, and Chris equals 30 and Beard equals 30. So then they could go in that game with 30 wins. And if they lost to Texas Tech, they'd be 30-7, and Texas Tech Red Raiders equals 307.
That's interesting. You know what I noticed is that if Buffalo beats Texas Tech, they'll get their 33rd win, and Texas Tech's 33.
Yeah, I kind of just like Texas Tech to get to Anaheim because they had some synchronicities with Anaheim. Like Texas Tech equals 138, and Anaheim equals 138.
Okay, well, that's a good observation. Anaheim's got the 33 connection too. So.
Oh, and Texas Tech's player Culver, he's one of the top prospects or whatever. Culver equals 81. So I was kind of thinking all these players with 81 will keep doing good.
That's a good observation. Could be true. So.
But yeah, I guess that's what I have for those couple of games. And if I think of anything else,
okay,
I'll call back in.
I was going to make the point about Anaheim and 33. Bulls also has that Gematria 33 too, because Buffalo's the Bulls. So.
Yeah, it's tough. You get the Red Raiders and the Bulls, like the Red Bulls.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, great work, Jeremy. Keep it up, man.
All right. Talk to you later.
Take care. Yeah, you guys, in light of basketball being more player-driven than team-driven, I had a feeling my opening round pick about Murray State losing would be the wrong pick. And, of course, it was. I'm thinking in light of how much attention's on this man. There's almost more attention on him than Zion right now. The fact that his name's 29, maybe that's it. Maybe they get the 29th win and they're done. And then what he just showed about how his full name is 288 and how Florida State could become 28-8 against them. That's very interesting. So come back and look at what Seminoles is real quick. See, his full name has that 81, just like Ja Morant has the 81. The one thing, though, again, for FSU is FSU equals 35. It's the 35th March Madness. They likely face Gonzaga in the next round. 35. That was my thought before Ja Morant, but John Morant, 29. Something tells me he gets his team to the 29th win. So I'd be careful there with that one. And that was the other thing. There's a big parallel between this tournament and 2003, which was the Carmelo Anthony year. John Morant opened up the tournament facing Marquette, which is Dwayne Wade's old team, and Dwayne Wade had an amazing 2003 tournament. You know what? Let me just see if I can pull up the 2003 NCAA March Madness bracket. Should have done this a long time ago. I want to see what Marquette was ranked that year. We can find that here. Okay. Wait, Marquette was a 3 seed that year? Really? Is that right? I thought that they were a lower seed that year. I know that Dwayne Wade had a phenomenal tournament. I was thinking Marquette was lower. Okay. So, I mean, they were a pretty top-seeded team then. I remember in my mind they were a lower seed. But, yeah, it's hard for me to doubt this 29th win. It does seem like it's the John Morant show. It's the only thing is that FSU has that 35 connection. Gonzaga, Baylor, I don't see here, let's just go back and look at everything. I don't see Gonzaga getting beat. Remember, if Gonzaga makes it to the Final Four, they'll get their 35th tournament win in the Elite Eight. Again, it's the 35th March Madness. Gonzaga's 35, Catholic's 35. I don't see them falling short of winning 35 games. So I got Gonzaga beating Baylor, but let's go back and look at what Baylor was. So I thought Syracuse would advance because Syracuse had the 81 connection. I was wrong about that. It's a reminder that not all the 81s are hitting, just like Wisconsin's coach didn't get the 81st win. Cardinals equals 81. They went down in the opening round, but of course they went down to a team with an 81 connection, which is Rick Pitino's son. Jonathan had the great read there. So Baylor's 14-13 now. 14-13. And you know what? They can become 14-14 against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs has the Gematria 43, the 14th prime. I forget what Baylor's school nickname is here. Let me check. Baylor. Here, I'll just do it this way. Baylor. What are they? They're the Bears. The Baylor Bears. 113th season. Baylor's got the 35 connection too, playing Gonzaga. Bears. How many wins is Gonzaga going for today? 32. Whoops. Baylor Bears. Baylor Bears is 71 like Gonzaga, and Gonzaga Bulldogs also. I should have looked at that. I just chose Syracuse because they had the 81 connection. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, God, Baylor has so many connections to Gonzaga, plus the 35. I should have given that one more thought. So, yeah, I don't see Gonzaga not making it to 35 wins. So I got Gonzaga in this one. Let me check the chat here. Jeremy's thinking the 81s are more important than the 35. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I think they're both important. I don't know if I would rank one ahead of the other. 34, for example, was huge last year in last year's tournament. Minnesota, Michigan State. Michigan State, to me, is the team that it makes most sense for Duke to beat in the Elite Eight. Duke would get their 13th win versus Michigan State on the 31st. Duke equals 41 the 13th prime. Also, 8 and 13 are Fibonacci numbers that follow each other. So I got Michigan State winning this game because of the fact that they match up well with Duke in the Elite Eight. So anyone got a thought on Minnesota, Michigan State that goes different from mine? Please let me know. I'm checking the chat here. Jeremy sees something with the Texas Tech coach beating Buffalo, which is a great observation. But again, some of these coaching records have great alignments and they don't hit. So NRB says the Elite Eight will be Murray State 12 versus Buffalo 6, like the Minneapolis area code. And let's see, which bracket is that again? Is that game? I don't see that any games being in Minneapolis. Murray State, yeah, Kentucky. I don't know why it would be the Minneapolis area code. I don't know where you're going with that. Jeremy makes a good point that Zion is from Spartansburg, so it makes sense for them to face the Michigan State Spartans as well for that reason. So that's another great observation. Oh, the finals is in Minnesota, duh. Okay, so I'm seeing where you're going now with that Minneapolis thing, overlooking the obvious. Okay. Murray State. So how would that? I'm looking at my bracket here real quick. I'm just seeing how that would have to be. Okay. That would put Murray State at 30 wins. That would get them past the 29 thing. That would also have to mean that they beat Gonzaga. I don't see it. I don't see them beating Gonzaga. Again, Gonzaga 35, 35th tournament. They got to win in the Elite Eight to get the 35th win. So it is a thought. I mean, again, go with your guns. Just because what I think doesn't mean it's right, obviously. So if you think it's going to be that, it is a riddle. I see where you're coming from, but I just don't see Gonzaga not getting 35. It's also Gonzaga's 68th season, basketball 68. Okay, so I think we're in agreement on Michigan State winning then, especially with Jeremy's Spartansburg thing. I did not know that about Zion Williamson. I just got to put that up on the screen so we can verify it and everybody can see it's true. There he is, Spartansburg Day School. So yeah, I think okay. I was already thinking it made a lot of sense for them to play the Spartans for a different reason. It definitely makes even more sense. Okay. Villanova, Purdue. Now I remember what I said about Purdue here. I saw that the experts put up all their picks on the board on the screen. Every single person had Villanova to win this game. I disagree. And the reason why is because the next game, the Sweet 16, is March 28th, the 87th day of the year. And check it out. Purdue Boilermakers, 87. How are they not playing on the 87th day of the year? Now, I'll remind you, that hasn't been a perfect strategy. Again, it's been a pretty good strategy. Overwhelmingly, it's worked. But there's been some games where it went against that, like Cincinnati didn't get it done. Cincinnati didn't advance to the date. But this is the full team name. 87, most pure cipher. I see him on the 87th day of the year. And I think I had some note about Tennessee and Purdue. Where is Purdue again? Is it in Indiana? I think it's in Indiana. All right, what do you guys think about this game? I like Purdue for the reason I just stated. Hold on, I'll give you guys some more information real quick. Purdue, they came into the tournament 39-30, so they're 40-30 now. They won their game. Villanova, who just won the championship last year, they won their third championship 33 years after their first. Villanova is now at 65 wins. That's why I had them winning their game, advancing to the 65th day of the year. Villanova is now playing on the 65th day of the year. If they lose, they'll be at 65 tournament wins on the 65th day of the year. So that was my thought there. Okay, I don't see a lot of chatter. I see Playboy agrees with Purdue. Hey, Playboy, by the way, I went and looked for your message again. I really want to find it. Maybe you can give me a call later today. I want to find your message you sent me. I just couldn't find it. Okay. So I think Purdue gets to the 87th day of the year. And Villanova, if they lose today, 65 tournament wins, tournament done on the 65th day of the year. Villanova's done enough winning lately. I feel like they got their share of the pie. Auburn and Kansas. I saw the experts like Auburn to beat Kansas today. Let me see. What do I have here? I know I had both these teams advancing. This was a hard game for me to call. I ultimately went with Kansas winning because if they face UNC in the next round, UNC would get their 127th tournament win against their next opponent, which would be Auburn or Kansas. And 127 is the 31st prime number, and then 31 is the 11th prime number. Kansas equals 11. Now, the Jayhawks are at 26 wins, and Jayhawks does equal 26. It's possible their season could end at 26 wins. Let me go over this again. Auburn Tigers. Auburn Tigers. That's why I had them advancing today. They have the 65 connection. They're playing on the 65th day of the year. And I was thinking maybe their season ends here too. Kansas, though, also has that 65 connection. So both these teams made it to the 65 day. Oh, there's a thought. No, never mind. Let me see what they came in with the tournament here. Auburn was 13-9 in the tournament, so they became 14-9, kind of like 149, the 35th prime, 35th March Madness. So they're at 14-9 right now. Kansas, let's see. Kansas is now 108-46. Their next win would be their 109th, which is the 29th prime number. Kansas does equal 29 if you use the rules with S. March Madness is 46. Kansas, if they face the Tar Heels next, if Kansas faces the Tar Heels next, they could get their 47th tournament loss against the Tar Heels. That was another thought I had. If Kansas advances, they get their 47th loss against the Tar Heels. Doesn't that make some sense? So they'd have to win this game to get 47 against the Tar Heels. So I got to stick with my guns on Kansas. Let me go to the chat. Yeah, you guys should ask like who Dave's like. Dave's the guy who bet $1 last week and won $158 on $1. And I think the day before that he bet $1 and won like 80 some dollars. So talk to Dave. He knows how to multiply his money. Let's see. Well, Dave, don't feel bad about picking Yale, man. Yale had the numbers. They did. I think they covered the spread. Could have took the points. Yeah, I agree, Playboy. The experts really do try to throw off the bettors. I agree. But I'm just saying I like to watch just to see what they do. So I don't see anybody talking about Kansas right now. Are you guys in agreement with Kansas? Kansas can get their 47th tournament loss against the Tar Heels, assuming both teams advance to the next round. Purdue would play on the 87th day of the year with a win. Purdue Boilermakers 87. Michigan State seems like the best team to lose to Duke, plus Zion's from Spartansburg. Gonzaga, it's the 35th tournament. Gonzaga's 35, so is Catholic. If Gonzaga makes it to the Final Four, they'll have 35 tournament wins. Murray State, Jeremy did a great decode. Ja Morant's full name equals 288. If Florida State loses, they're 28-8. Ja Morant equals 29. They can get the 29th win. Gators, if they advance, the next game is on a date with 43 numerology. Florida's 43. Today also has 65 date numerology. Florida's 65. CBS does equal 6 and 15, so we can't use the network here. Both teams have those types of losses. But the game is in Iowa, and Iowa equals 21. Florida could get their 21st win in Iowa, would be a big upset. I say if you bet Florida, take the points to give you a cushion. But if Florida wins, they're playing on a date that makes sense for Florida. And Wofford equals 30. They're at 30 wins. The experts are going big on Wofford upsetting Kentucky. That's what I saw this morning. Everyone seemed to have this picked as their upset of the day. But I just can't come off Kentucky. Kentucky came in with 128 wins. Tar Heels equals 128. If these teams play in the Elite Eight, North Carolina can get their 128th win over Kentucky. So I'm sticking with that until Kentucky's, unless they're eliminated today, then obviously I have to change the thought. But that's where I'm at. Kentucky would also get their 29th win today with a win. Kentucky equals 29. We're seeing a lot of teams get the win that corresponds with their team, such as Wofford getting 30, where Wofford is 30. So that's how I'm rolling with college basketball. And I'll tell you what, since it's tournament time, you guys, here, let me see what time the games start tomorrow. I'll tell you what, tomorrow we get up and we do the bright and early special Sunday live decode. We'll start it at 8 a.m. Pacific. That's 11 Eastern. We'll start it earlier than normal, and we'll do the games tomorrow. Okay, just because it's tournament time, I'll burn the extra midnight oil for you guys. By the way, I did have a caller this week who said he thinks I should charge you guys $50 a month for the sports picks. So maybe I'll put up a poll. How do you guys feel about a price hike from $5 to $50? Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. But somebody did call in. He said he's been making a lot of money and I should be charging $50 a month. But really, you guys, I would do this for free if, I didn't have any bills to pay. I feel like $5 a month is a price that's close to free. And also, all the money you guys are helping me save up each month, it's going to go towards taking this cause further. All I'm doing is saving the money. So hopefully one day I can hire some assistants, have some Jeremy Whites and Jonathans and, maybe even Sports Gematria if he wasn't such an asshole. I don't think he is here right now. I mean, that guy is helpful, but he's the ultimate asshole. So anyway, tomorrow we'll do it 8 a.m. Pacific for the college basketball. We're not done yet today. We're going to do everything else too. But if nobody has anything else to say about college basketball, that's how I'm leaning today. I like Kansas. Kansas gets its 47th loss in the next round of the Tar Heels. Tar Heels 47. And I also made the point about how Tar Heels win would be 127. That's the 31st prime. 31's the 11th prime. Kansas is 11. It's a little bit abstract, but that's just the way I see it. So I'm taking Kansas, Purdue, Michigan State, Gonzaga, Murray State, Florida, Kentucky, and whoever wins this game is who I'm taking. No, I did say that I did say last night the one scare here is LSU is 6, and this game's on CBS. They could stay at 6 losses. But hold on, there was something else about Maryland. There was something else about Maryland. What did I say last night? It was late. I was tired. Maybe it was something about Maryland and Michigan State. Let me see. All right, so Maryland got Belmont like we expected. Oh, Maryland was – okay, so Maryland is on 42 wins right now. Right now they're 42 and 26. The thing about losing today is Tigers does equal 42. They could stay at 42 wins against the Tigers. But if they advance, they'll have 43 wins, and they'll play on a 43-day. So, yeah, this game was tight. This game was definitely tight, but we'll see what happens there. I don't really care about either of those teams because I don't see them going past the next round. I mean, it's nice to win today, but they're not teams I got going past the next round. So, Dave says I should charge that guy $50 a month. No, don't worry, you guys. I'm not raising the price. It's going to be $5 a month. I hope you guys stay around year-round, though. You know, it is true that you know, I do put out a lot better picks than almost everything else out there. And people who charge for inferior picks charge, you know, you could just go get the weekend picks. It would cost you probably $50 for just one weekend. So I just hope that you guys stay signed up year-round and we can continue to build this until we finally get it to the team of people that it needs to be. Because admittedly, I mean, part of the reason that – and we're not doing bad, but, I mean, the work could be a lot better. And if we had more people helping out, it would be a lot better. So that's my goal, to build it to enough people where we can have a team where – because it's always good to have 2 or 3 minds, you know. I miss something, somebody points out, oh, yeah, great observation, you know. So, all right, let's get to today's games. I got to tell you guys, you're not going to like what I have to say about the NBA. Today's reads are just so tight, almost all of them. So I have some notes up here for the NBA. Boston, here, let me make this thing smaller. It's taking up too much space. Okay, so Boston at Hornets. Now, we know Charlotte equals 39. And if the Hornets won this game, they'd stay at 39 losses. Hold on. Before we do this, let's get the date numerology here. It's March 23rd, 2019. It's the 159th day of the NBA season. Date numerology that's really popping is 65, 38, 20. Lesser numerology that might matter is 45. Because it's the 23rd, keep in mind it's the 9th prime number. Could see some 9s today. It's the 82nd day of the year, leaving 283 days remaining. 283 is the 61st prime. 61 could matter. The Saturday date, Gematria, I'm putting it up there. I don't really like to use it, though. We have seen some 53s coming through on Saturdays, though. If there's any Saturday number I'm looking at, it's 53. So, okay. 65, 38, 20. Numbers really to remember. The Celtics, if they got upset here, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, the Celtics got to win these games down the stretch. The standings right now, Celtics are a 5 seed. I'm imagining the Celtics finish ahead of the Pacers. I don't know if they finish ahead of the 76ers. I don't really think it's too big of a deal where the Celtics finish. They're the best team in the East. And they still have the best narrative. I think the 76ers have the second best narrative. I don't care that the Raptors and the Bucks are up at the top. You know, how often do the Raptors finish up at the top and then choke in the playoffs? Kind of what they do. But this game right here. So here's my notes. You got the Charlotte thing for the potential upset, staying at 39 losses in Charlotte. Hornets could just as easily stay on 22 wins. Boston is 22. Because it's Saturday with the 53 thing that I've kind of seen coming through on Saturday, 53 is the 16th prime. They could get their 16th home loss. Remember how today, the day leaving the amount of days left in the year, it's the 61st prime, 61's the 18th prime. Celtics could become 18 and 18 away. I did look at the team's next games, and nothing screamed out at me. The opponents ahead, it wasn't a big tell. If the Hornets did win today, they'd get their 33rd win over the team from Massachusetts, 33. The conference standings don't reveal a lot. If Charlotte lost, they'd get their 23rd loss on the 23rd. If they won, they'd stay at 22 wins. So ultimately, hold on, we got a caller here. What's up, caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach? I'm a little late to the stream today.
Okay.
But, I was just rewatching your college basketball, and you were talking about the Florida State, Murray State.
Right.
And I saw an article, Florida State rallies around Phil Cofer after his father's death.
I'm glad you brought that up, man. I meant to look at that, and I forgot to. Okay.
I just watched that, and I texted one of my buddies, texted the Murray State, and he said he liked Florida State because of that kid's father or something.
Cofer.
So I didn't see that if you said anything about that, so I was wondering if you had anything on
I'm so glad you showed up and brought that up, because I saw that story and I forgot about it. And I originally had Florida State advancing this round because they're a great opponent for Gonzaga in the next round. So it could still be Florida State, but hold on, let me look at this. So Phil Cofer's 22 years old. His birthday is June 19th. The story was that his dad died right before the game.
Yeah.
That game was the 21st. I want to look at how many days it was. I'm really glad you called in. I meant to look at this and I forgot to. So his dad died. Did his dad die March 21st? Was that the day he died?
I'm trying to skim through the article.
It must have been, because I read that he found out after the game, or I heard that he found out after the game. So he must have died that day. Okay, so nothing screaming out there about the days after his birthday. What about today today would be 277 days after his birthday, which is the 59th prime. And this tournament bracket came out on a date with 59 numerology. Let me see what his name equals. Phil Cofer. Cofer's got the 29 connection. I know Florida State's going for their 29th win today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Phil equals 63. It played that. His dad died on the date with 63 numerology. Phil Cofer's 43 like Florida. The next games are on a date with 43 numerology. Phil Cofer equals 92, and his dad died 9 months and 2 days after his birthday. Let me see to his upcoming birthday here real quick. Let me measure that way too. So that was from the last game. So today is 88 days to his birthday, and I just saw something with Cofer in 88. Cofer's 88. His upcoming birthday is 88 days from today. Oh, man. All right, that complicates things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because you said, I know that kid said Murray State looking good, but then I finished, you didn't say anything about that kid, so I was like wondering if that had anything to do with it.
Yeah, and it absolutely could. I mean, there's obviously something up with his father dying the day of their first game with the tournament. Ooh, all right. Well, now I'm conflicted on the Murray State FSU game. I originally had FSU winning this game because of their 35 connection, 35th March Madness. That would put them against Gonzaga, the 35 team. I got to say, buyer beware on this game, because the riddle with Ja Moran is great too. I mean, that's a great riddle.
Everything lined up so perfect for that.
Yeah. Let me go back and look at how many wins Florida State had in the tournament real quick. I got to check that out. I'm really glad you called in though and made that observation. All right,
Yeah.
Florida State is at 20-16 in the tournament right now. 20-16. And I did remember that Murray State had that.
His father's name was Mike Kofer.
Mike Kofer. Okay, I should look that up. Mike's 29 too. And Kofer was 29.
He's a pro back linebacker for the Detroit Lions.
Mike Kofer, 85, like basketball, like how the first March Madness tournament was in 85.
He was 58 years old, I guess.
Mike Kofer equals 58 as well. Go figure. Huh. Let me look at Florida State one more time. Florida State. Florida State's also 58. Florida State 58. Jesus. Florida State Seminoles 88. Today is 88 days from Phil Kofer's birthday. Yeah, I'm conflicted on this game now. This one really could go either way, especially after that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a wait and see game for the people out there.
Exactly.
I'd probably just lay off on that one. The new narratives are too good both ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to touch upon that because I just saw that.
Yep, great call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, have a good one. Yeah, you guys, I mean, unless you really got a good gut feeling, I would lay off because that could be a ritual sacrifice for their 29th win. Mike's 29 and so is Kofer, and we just saw how it lines up with the player's birthday. Florida State Seminoles 88. Yeah, I'd be careful on that. The John Morant riddle was perfect, though, too, so danger. Okay, let's go back to the NBA here. And again, I'm tempted to just skip right to the NHL, but I just want to show you guys what I'm looking at. I just saw a lot of really tight reads today. So what I was going to say about this Charlotte game is they have numbers to possibly win. Keep in mind Boston's 32 as well. Hornets could stay at 32 wins against Boston. I would pick the Celtics in this game only because I expect them to win these games down the stretch and surpass the Pacers in the seeding. So they can start off the opening round with a home advantage over the Pacers. And they probably are going to play the Pacers, right? Larry Bird runs that team. Larry, legend for the Celtics. So there's probably some symbolism there. But they're going to need to win games like this. They keep losing games that they need to win. So it's the regular season, so it doesn't matter. But I'd only favor the Celtics here just because of where we expect them to be. I forgot to put up here in my notes that Boston's 32. I knew it in my head, but so Celtics probably win that game. I don't think it's a great game to bet on, just because there's a little risk there. Heat Wizards. The Heat with a loss would stay at 37 wins. Wizards equals 37, who they're facing. What did I say that wrong? If the Heat won, they would stay at 37 losses. Wizards equals 37. If the Heat lost, they'd pick up their 38th loss. Washington, D.C. is on the 38th parallel. Notice the Wizards, 43 losses, the number that we've seen connected to the Miami Heat throughout the season until recently. Until recently, that 43 has not been working out for Heat games. But if the Wizards win, they stay at 43 losses. Heat equals 16. Notice the Wizards could pick up the 16th loss as well. Washington, D.C. equals 61, the 18th prime. With a Heat loss, they're 18-18. The Wizards play the Lakers next. If the Wizards lose, they stay on 30 wins. Lakers equals 21-30. The Heat play Orlando next. The Heat, if they won this game, they could pick up their 38th loss against Orlando, or they could just as easily go into Orlando with 38 losses. The Heat are at 20 conference wins, and the Wizards are going for their 20th conference win. Today has the 20-date numerology. So this game is razor tight too. I don't even want to say I lean a certain way. I just don't like it. It's too tight. 76ers Atlanta. Now, the number that stands out the most here is that the 76ers can get their 48th win in Atlanta. Atlanta equals 48. Oftentimes, that's the way it is. They're playing in Atlanta. They can get the 48th win there. That's probably what happens in this game. However, notice the Hawks have that strong connection to 17. And Atlanta, Georgia's also 59, the 17th prime. The 76ers could get their 17th away loss against the Hawks. 76ers also has the Gematria 15. The Hawks could get their 15th win. They could just as easily pick up their 23rd loss on the 23rd. I noticed the Hawks are on 187 series wins against the 76ers. The only reason I bring that up is because we saw the strong riddle with the 76ers and the Warriors in the 187 thing. And I still haven't been able to figure out what's up with the 187 riddle. So I don't know if it has any meaning here or if it's something about this season that I continue to overlook. The other thing here is Philadelphia is 101, the 26th prime. If the Hawks won, they'd get their 26th win over Philly. The 76ers' next game is in the Amway Center in Orlando. Or Amway Center's 47. If the 76ers lost this game, they'd go in there with 47 wins. But I do expect that Philadelphia will get the 48th win in Atlanta. It's just that, again, there's these riddles on the board that make me uncomfortable with picking them. So, and Atlanta's a real wild card team. A Philadelphia loss would also help Boston. So I'm not crazy about that game either. Jazz, their next opponent's the Phoenix Suns in Arizona. You know, Arizona has that connection to 42. They're not the Arizona Suns, but they are playing the Arizona team next. If the Bulls won this game, they'd get their 22nd win, Utah 22. We've seen Utah in 22 be a big number on their road trip. This is the first game in a while where they don't have a double matchup. We've seen 3 games in a row where the team they were facing could have a record of wins and losses that corresponded with the Gematria of Utah. And we got all those games. Well, we did get all those games right. But one of them, I said it was risky because our friend from Berkeley had a great riddle for the other team to win. But I was like, I don't know. When you get the double win-loss thing, it's pretty much always that way. So anyway, the one thing that goes against the Bulls upsetting the Jazz here, because notice the Bulls are a big underdog. And the last time these teams played, it was in Utah, and the Jazz only won by 8. So I'm asking why the Utah Jazz are a 10.5-point dog on a deep road trip. Here, let me just pull up Utah's schedule real quick. Actually, let me close some of these windows so my computer doesn't overheat here. The Jazz are on quite a road trip right now. They're going back home for their next game. Where's it at? So they played 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th game on the road. They only beat the Bulls by 8 last time at home. And now the last game of the road trip where teams tend to drop games they shouldn't, they're a 10.5-point favorite. So Bulls can get that 22nd win against Utah. But hold on, there's one thing I got to tell you. There's one thing I got to tell you. The Jazz next game. Wait a minute. No. What was, did I forget to make the note up here? Hold up. There was one other thing. I swear there was one other thing I wanted to say. Let me see what the Bulls schedule is. I know there was some thought I had that I must have forgot to write down. Huh. Shoot. Well, anyway, I might bet on this game with the Bulls with the points. Because that's a bit. If you can get a 10.5 points for Utah, I would take the Bulls on that. There's a good chance they win this game, and there's a good chance the Jazz face the Arizona team with 42 wins. So, if you can get 10.5 points, I think the Bulls are worth a pick on the money line. Utah 22. All right, Timberwolves, Grizzlies. Memphis equals 43. Memphis can stay at 43 losses in Memphis. We have a 20-date numerology. The Grizzlies can get their 20th home win on the 20 date. Timberwolves does equal 71, the 20th prime. So they could get their 20th win on the 20 date over a fitting opponent, stay at 43 losses at home. That all makes sense. In the conference records, however, there's a little contradiction. But again, the immediate season record has beaten the conference records a lot more often than not. Just the one concern is in the conference records, Minnesota's going for the 20th conference win, and Memphis is already at 20 conference wins. So that's my only concern there with that game. But I do think Memphis likely wins this game. It's a razor tight point line. But to me, Grizzlies have the better narrative here. Staying at 43 in Memphis. And hold on, was there something for the next games? The T-Wolves' next game is against Los Angeles. And then Golden State. So the Timberwolves, if they lost here, they could go into LA with 41 losses. LA's 41. However, if they won this game, they could also pick up their 41st loss in LA. But it's very possible they go in there with 41 losses. They could even win, beat the Lakers, and then they would face Golden State with 41 losses. Golden State's 41. That's right. Memphis's next game is against the Thunder, and Thunder has that gematria of 45. If the Grizzlies lost this game, they'd be in perfect shape to lose their 45th game against the Thunder. So actually, be careful on this game too. The immediate game says Grizzlies can get the win, get that 20 on the 20 date, but the conference record goes against the Grizzlies, and their upcoming schedule, the fact that they can get 45 against the Thunder in their next game is also concerning. Mavericks and Warriors. We talked about the possibility of the Warriors being 49-22 coming into this game. Dallas is 49-22. Mavericks is 101, the 26th prime. Warriors can get the 26th home win over the Mavericks. We've seen the Warriors losing some real silly games at home. If the Mavericks lose, they get their 31st loss in Oakland. Oakland's 31. The Warriors' next game is against Detroit. Pistons has gematria 49-50. And what I did different today, if anybody's like looking, going, wait a minute, I don't see that. Today, and I should just do it this way every day, I'm using our base ciphers, but on the reduction values, I'm using the exceptions, which I should, because normally I try to do it in my head, but sometimes I miss some. So Pistons does have this connection of 49-50. And very possible the Warriors go into that game with 49 wins or 50 wins, and probably a lot more likely the 50, staying at 22 losses in Oakland, staying at 22 losses against Dallas, Dallas 22. Again, Mavericks 101, the 26th prime. Golden State's a big favorite, so it's not a great payout, but I do suspect the Warriors win this game. I don't see the riddle for the Mavericks to get an upset here. And here's the Pistons-Blazers game. We talked about the Pistons likely going into Portland with 37 wins. What's funny is the Blazers have 44 wins. Portland equals 37-44. Detroit equals 37-44. I imagine the Pistons stay at 37 wins in Portland. The location, it's usually where the riddle's at. And that's the same reason, despite the Hawks having some significant riddles to beat the 76ers today, just the fact that the game's in Atlanta, I do suspect that's going to be the number that matters, getting the 48th win in Atlanta. So I'd still be careful with that game. But the Pistons don't really have any type of riddle to beat the Blazers. Blazers equals 43, the 14th prime. Pistons can stay at 14 away wins. Let me see. Make any other notes up here. I think Blazers will get it done here. Suns and Kings. So here's our Phoenix wildcard team. If the Suns won this game, they would stay at 30 away losses. Kings equals 30. Number we see in their riddles. Phoenix and Suns have gematria of 35. The Kings could stay at 35 wins against the Phoenix Suns. Sacramento Kings equals 61, the 18th prime, plus today's connection has that. Today's date has that connection to 61. Suns could get the 18th win. So, earlier I thought I had a riddle with Utah. This is what I was thinking of, actually. If the Suns lost this game, they'd have 57 losses, and they could get their 58th loss in the next game against Utah, 58. Kings' next game is against the Lakers. Los Angeles has that connection to 37 like Sacramento. So, you know, if the Kings win, they're 36 and 36. The 37 can go either way. The Kings play the Mavericks after they play Los Angeles. So I was just thinking about the way things go, but technically you could make the riddle either way, so it's not so helpful. If the Suns lost today, they would be 3 and 13 in the division. These teams are in the same division. What stands out about that is 313 is the 65th prime, and today has 65 date numerology. So there is a riddle for a Suns upset, but there's just as good of a riddle for the Kings to get it done. I'd be careful on that game too. If the Suns covering the spread pays well, it could be worth the risk. But to me in the NBA, what I'd be taking today is I'd be taking the Blazers. I'd probably just skip the Warriors game, even though they probably win. The Bulls, I'd take their points. I think they got a good chance to upset and especially cover, because the Jazz are on a 4th game of a road trip. And when they played the Bulls at home, they only won by 8 points. So if you can get 10.5 points, I would take that to cover. And, you know, the rest of the games, they're all a little bit risky to me today. I'm not really crazy about any of these other games. So Rob's filling the Suns thing because of the Saturn-Sun connection. And we have seen that. And Suns have been doing well on Saturday. So just the one concern is if the Suns lose, again, their next opponent is Utah, which equals 58. So if I bet on the Suns, I would definitely take them to cover the points because there's a chance they lose. But again, there's also a chance they stay at 30 away losses, Kings 30. So the riddles are there. The riddles are there. And Phoenix and Suns both 35. I mean, there's riddles there. So Blazers and Bulls to cover. As long as you can get those 10.5 points, I like a big cushion with the Bulls game. And I mean, here's games I wouldn't bet on, but what I expect. I think Boston wins because they need to win, not because of anything in the numbers. Hornets would stay at 32 wins. Boston's 32. I mean, they could just easily stay at 39 losses in Charlotte, though. God, this Wizards Heat game, I can't even make a call on the Wizards Heat game, honestly. I can't. It's two both ways. 76ers Hawks. Hawks got quite the riddle to upset. They do. So this game's real dangerous. If I actually bet on this game, I would just bet on the Hawks to cover this spread. That'd be my bet. But 76ers probably win because Atlanta's 48, and they pick up their 48th win in Atlanta. And I did look at all these games and looked at the opponents and stuff. I just couldn't get good enough riddles either way. So I'm just letting you know just what I expect. But again, the only two games I would bet on today are the Blazers and the Bulls to cover. That Grizzlies-Timberwolves game is too close for comfort. If the date numerology was as consistent as it was 3 months ago, I'd take the Grizzlies. Warriors should win, but there's too much of a... There's not a big risk here, but there's just... In light of how weird the Warriors have been this year, if it's not a decent payout, I'd just rather just skip their game. They've lost to too many crap teams that they shouldn't have lost to. And by the way, all the Warriors and Mavericks games have been close this season. Go look at their past games. They've all been very close games. So it could be a close game again. Notice the spread's 13.5. Dallas is 13 and 41. 41's the 13th prime. Golden State's 41. I guess, actually, you know what? That is the one risk here, is that Dallas and Warriors both equal 49. If the Warriors lost this game, Dallas would be 1-3 against them on the season, and they'd stay at 49. And the Warriors' next opponent does have Gematria 49 and 50. That's the Pistons. There actually is a chance at a Mavericks upset here. So I wouldn't bet on this game at all. But if I did, I might be inclined to take the points just because every single game this year has been really close. 13.5. That seems like a lot based on how tight they've played. But just one more time to be clear, the only game I would bet on today is Blazers to beat the Pistons. And if I can get 10.5 points, I'm taking the Bulls to cover that spread, possibly upset. So, okay, I didn't have time to get to the NHL, so we're just going to do this live. We're going to do NHL live. Okay. So Islanders, this game's not over. If they win, they get their 93rd points. Philadelphia Flyers, 93. Devils, Coyotes. I was saying it made a lot of sense for the Devils to lose in a shutout today because their next opponent has Gematria of 63 and 64. And they could stay at 39 losses. Arizona's 39. If the Coyotes win, they'll get their 37th win. Devils 37. So those were the early games. Let's see. We better hurry up here with this. Blackhawks and Avalanche. This starts soon. Okay, so Chicago Blackhawks have the Gematria of 137, the 33rd prime. Blackhawks, I think the Blackhawks and Avalanche play back-to-back games too. I remember looking at this. Play 2 in a row here. Yep. Okay. And then the Blackhawks have a game coming up against the Coyotes, which equal 33 from the 33rd parallel. So something tells me the Blackhawks, by the time they're done with this Avalanche doubleheader, they're at 33 wins going into that Coyotes game. And maybe after they face the Coyotes, they're 33 and 33. So let me close some things here. Let me close some tabs. I got too many tabs open. Okay. So again, we got 65, 38, 20 date numerology. It's the 23rd, the 9th prime. Blackhawks win-loss record. Colorado. 138th game. So somebody's at 61 wins. Today's date has that 61 connection. That's the Blackhawks. Remember, today leaves 283 days left in the year, the 61st prime. So perhaps the Blackhawks stay on 61 wins today and get that 33rd at home in the next game. The one concern is because the Blackhawks have that 33 connection, the Avalanche could stay on 33 wins too. Games on ESPN. Let me see what the home and away records are here. Go. Okay, nothing there for the home. Wait, Chicago's away. Chicago could get the 18th away loss today. Has that connection to 61. Colorado. I don't see it. I'm missing something. Avalanche. Avalanche is 31. The Blackhawks could stay on 31 losses. They can do that with a win or a shootout loss. So there's a riddle there. Oh, Avalanche is 59 to the 17th prime. Blackhawks are going for their 17th away win. Colorado. Avalanche. Let's see. Chicago. Blackhawks. Both these teams play each other next. I think it's late on this game anyway to put in your pick. If the Blackhawks lose this game, I think they're in great shape to win the next game. So I think that's probably our best strategy here, just to wait and see, and hope for a Blackhawks loss, because, again, I think that puts them in great shape for a win in the next game. Well, I'm thinking that through. Again, the opponent after this does have the 33 connection. Yeah, it would still be a little bit tight to call. It's just a tight call because they play each other next. Avalanche 31, Blackhawks with the 33 connection. And there was nothing screaming with the points. Yeah, I think it's just a tough one to call. Okay, Oilers and Senators. All right, Senators, Oilers, man. Nothing jumping on the surface. Let me run it. Edmonton. Oilers. The Oilers, or the Senators' next points are their 57th. If they lost in a shootout, they'd get to 57 points against the Oilers. Edmonton Oilers. Hold on real quick. I just got to go back to one more thought about the last game. Arizona Coyotes 78. So if the Blackhawks won one of these games, they would have a chance to get their 78th points against the Coyotes. You could also win them both and go in with 78. Yeah, but if the Blackhawks lose this one, I think that does improve their odds definitely of winning the next one and having a chance at 78 against the Coyotes. All right, coming back to this Oilers game. Ottawa. Ottawa Senators. Senators. Looking at more numbers, I'm just trying to make sure my eyes aren't skipping over things. All right, let's see who they play. Or let's see what that did. Oh, that was the other thought about the Blackhawks today, is just staying on those 61 wins. Today would be a day to stay on those 61 wins. That was the one thing for the Avalanche. All right. Ottawa Senators versus Edmonton. 43rd game. Now, Ottawa Senators is 191, the 43rd prime. We just saw a game where a series where they played their 43rd game. It didn't help them out. They were going against one of the league's best teams. So the Senators are going for their 20th win. Today does have the 20 date numerology. So they could get the series win that goes with the date numerology. But so are the Oilers. The Oilers going for the 20th win all time too. So that's a tie. See who the Oilers play next. Oilers got the Kings next. Kings have the connection to 33. Kings. Los Angeles. Any wins at that? Los Angeles Kings. Go back and look one more time at that. Kings is 75. If they won this game, they'd go into the Kings game with 75 points. If they lost, they could get their 75th points over the Kings. And then they have the Stars next, and the Stars have that 77 connection. So if they got upset today, they'd be in good shape to pick up 75 against the Kings and 77 against the Stars. See who the Senators play. Senators got Buffalo next, and then Florida. If the Senators won this game, they'd have a chance at their 27th win against Buffalo. Buffalo's got that 27 connection. Sabres. If they could win 2 in a row, they would have 40, or they could also get overtime losses. But if they can stay on where they are right now with the 43, they could go into that Florida game with a 43 in the loss column. Florida and Panthers are 43. So they'd have to get the upset here and then beat the Sabres, who aren't a very good team. Edmonton's a big favorite tonight. So whoops. The other thing is if the Oilers lost tonight, again, Kings has that 33 gematria. They could face the Kings with 33 wins and pick up their 75th points. Senators could be worth a puck line bet tonight. Just because it's a decent payout, it could be worth the risk. Could be worth the risk. There's a little narrative there. All right, Rangers, Maple Leafs. Right away, Rangers equals 44. New York Rangers equals 193, the 44th prime. Maple Leafs, if they get upset, stay at 44 wins. If the Rangers won today, they'd get their 71st points on the 20-date numerology, 71, the 20th prime. Let me check on my gematria here. Rangers. New York Rangers. New York Rangers have this connection at 94. If Toronto lost in a shootout, they'd be at 94 points. Toronto has the connection to 72. They can't get to that. Toronto Maple Leafs is 72. They can't get to that either. Maple Leafs is 45. They could get their 45th win at home, something to consider. Let's see what the head-to-head is here. Did I close it? A lot of games played. 614th game. Rangers going for 232. $188. Those numbers don't really connect today. Let's see who they play next. Rangers schedule. Rangers, Penguins. Rangers, Penguins. Okay. And then they got the Bruins. Bruins have that 29 connection, and Boston has that 32 connection, just looking at their upcoming games. If they won one and lost in a shootout between now and then, they could go into that Boston game 29 and 32. I don't think the Penguins have a connection, though, in terms of the win-loss for the next game and the points. Yeah, I don't see it. All right, let's see the Maple Leafs play next. Maple Leafs got the Florida Panthers next. Makes sense there. Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers 95. If the Maple Leafs lost this game, they could get their 95th points over the Florida Panthers. I mean, they could go in there with 95 points as well, but I think there's a chance that the Rangers get it done here. Just because Rangers is 44 and Toronto or New York Rangers is 193, the 44th prime. I think the Rangers on the puck line are a decent bet. I think there's a risk reward there. It would be a good payout because Toronto's a huge favorite. So the one thing for the Maple Leafs was they could get their 45th win at home, and Maple Leafs is 45, but that next opponent's got the 95 connection. On the puck line bet, there's multiple ways you can win. Looks like the Rangers are probably 2.5-point dog. All right. So Canadians face a New York team. New York 39, first thing jumping. If the Sabres lost, they get their 34th loss. Canadians 34. Yeah. They'd get the 34th loss against the Canadians. Let's check it out here. Let's see the head-to-head. Canadians. Buffalo. 283rd game. Isn't it the day leaving 283 days left in the year? It is. The 61st prime. All right. So Canadians at 122 wins. Buffalo at 129 all-time wins. Okay, let's see who they play next. Sabres got the Devils next. The Devils. Devils equals 71. I know that. Devils 71. So if the Sabres lose this game, they go into the Devils game with 71 points. That makes sense. Canadians got the Hurricanes next. And I think this Hurricanes team has a connection to 40. Oh, I'm wrong about that. They don't. How many points? 87. We're going for 89 points. Well, I got to say I like the Canadiens here. Again, give them their 34th loss. Canadiens 34. Keep them at 71 points going into the Devils game. The only concern is just staying at 39 against a New York team. But I'm thinking 71 points in the next game makes a lot of sense, and 34th loss against the Canadiens makes a lot of sense too. So I've got to say I favor the Canadiens there. Bruins and Panthers. Bruins equals 29. The Panthers are at 29 losses. God, I think Panthers is 101. Let me check that out real quick. It is. It is. So the Bruins could get their 101st points by defeating the Panthers. And that would keep the Panthers at 33 wins against the Massachusetts team. Bruins. 85. Bruins. See what that data is here. $204th game. Boston going for the 110th win. They're at 71 regulation losses. That's the 20th prime. 78 losses all time. This one's tough. They probably do get the 101st points because Panthers is 101, and possibly it's in a shootout because that would keep them at 29 losses against the Bruins 29. Let's look at – I think I forgot to look at who they play next. Bruins got the Lightning next. Tampa Bay's 47. If they won this game, they'd have a chance at the 47th win in Tampa Bay, which is unlikely. The Lightning seem to beat everybody. I know Lightning's also 100. If the Bruins lost in a shootout, they'd be at 100 points going into the Lightning game. Bay. Tampa Bay Lightning also 100. They got a double connection to 100. Bruins very well will stay at 20 losses, though, on the 20 date. I'm thinking maybe the game does go to the shootout and the Bruins get it done there, the 101st points. Let's see what the Panthers got next. Panthers got the Maple Leafs next. And the Canadiens. Hard to get a read off those down the road. Have a chance. If they lost these next two games, they'd have a chance at 34 against the Canadiens. So I'd say the Bruins have the better riddle here just because they can get those 101st points against the Panthers. Panthers 101. But the one danger is this 29 because the Panthers, if they won the game, they would stay on 29. Again, if they lose in the shootout, they also stay on the 29. But the Panthers the Bruins have the two good riddles: 101 against the Panthers and staying on 20 losses on the 20 date. There wasn't anything else I missed. Okay. 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 So the Wild just got upset the I believe it was the Capitals yesterday. I gave them that 24th loss. Minnesota, in regards to the 24 connection, the Hurricanes could get their 89th points against the Wild. 89 is the 24th prime. Nothing else is jumping out with the date numerology. Anything with date numerology in these games. Okay. Let's see what the head-to-head is. '26th game. Wild going for the 13th win, and Carolina going for the 12th all-time win. Now, the thing about going for the 12th all-time is Carolina equals 37, the 12th prime. So they would get that win in Carolina. Just run the numbers here. Minnesota. Wild. Wild. Games. All right, let's see. Who they play next? Okay, Hurricanes got the Canadiens next. Is there any numbers there that matter? Canadiens. Montreal Canadiens. Nothing screaming out. Let's see what the Wild schedule is. Predators next, and the Golden Knights. Nashville. Well, if they won this game, they'd have a chance at their 83rd points against the Predators, but that's pretty unlikely. That's one of the better teams, and they're playing two pretty quality teams, and they're not bad, the Minnesota Wild, but that'd be two big wins for them in a row. Whew. Well, there's not a great read here. There's not. The thing that stands out the most is just getting those 89th points against the team with the 24 connection, because 89, the 24th prime. I'm not seeing anything else line up with the points or really with the next opponents. Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that game because, I mean, the 89th points over the 24 team, it makes a little bit of sense, but it's not a great riddle. So I might just lay low on that game. All right, Predators and Jets. So Predators equals 44. The Jets are at 44 wins. There's the riddle to keep the Jets at 44 against the Predators. I believe Jets is 27. All right, so they could stay on 27 losses against the Jets. Could also give the Jets their 27th loss at home. Winnipeg Jets. Any of those numbers on the board? Winnipeg. Predators. Nashville Predators. Nashville Predators is 101 to 26 prime. The Jets could potentially stay on 26 losses. They could also stay on 44 wins if they lost in a shootout. Let's see what that is here. Winnipeg. 44th game. So there's the 44 on the board. Predators 44. Predators going for the 25th win. Winnipeg's at 18 wins. Today's date has that 61 connection, the 18th prime. They're going for their 19th win. So far I'm favoring the Predators. Let's see who the Predators play next. Predators got the Wild next. Oh, yeah, we just looked at that. If the Predators won this game, they'd get their 92nd points. And if they beat the Wild in their next game, they'd get their 94th points, which is very possible. If the Predators lost 2 in a row, which is unlikely, they're a pretty good team, they would face the Penguins with 42 wins. See who the Jets play next. And Penguins equals 42. Dallas Stars got the Jets next. Dallas Stars, if I'm not mistaken, equals 27. So they could go into that game with 27 losses. Or if they won, they could pick up their 27th loss against the Stars. I'm thinking it makes more sense, though, for them to face the Stars with 27 losses and probably win that game. Dallas Stars. They play after that, and they got the Islanders. But yeah, I got to favor the Predators here, just because the Jets could stay on 44 against the Predators, and Predators can stay on 27 against the Jets. Jets 27, Predators 44. I see the Lightning can get their 59th win against the Blues. Blues equals 59. That's right on the surface. However, Blues also equals 14, and they could get their 14th loss. It's very interesting how close. Is this the right betting line? I mean, maybe it's not, because that's just surprising. Let's see here. 43rd game. Oh, somebody's at 14 wins. That's the Lightning. Ooh, the Lightning could stay at 14 in the 43rd game. 43, the 14th prime. That's interesting. The Blues are at 25 wins all-time, going for their 26th. And that would also give the Lightning their 14th loss, wouldn't it, in the 43rd series match? Why? Let me see. Is that really what the betting line is? This is not today. That is what the betting line is. Tampa Bay, their games usually have steep odds. That's a surprise. I guess it's because the Blues have done well against the Lightning historically. Let's run a little more gematria here. Tampa Bay. Lightning. St. Louis. Blues. Blues. Let's see the Lightning play next. Lightning got the Bruins next. Boston Bruins. Bruins equals 43, if I'm not mistaken, the 14th prime. Yeah. They could go into that Bruins game with 14 losses. Bruins. Let's see who the Blues play. The Golden Knights next, and then the Rangers. Vegas. Golden Knights. No, it's Golden Knights. It's 89. So is Vegas Golden Knights. They got that double connection to that number. Well, the problem here is Blues is 59 and 14, so you can really make an argument either way. And there's nothing that screams out about the upcoming games other than the Bruins, the next opponent, have that 43 connection, the 14th prime. But remember, in the head-to-head, this is the 43rd series game, and the Lightning could be stuck at 14 wins, 43, the 14th prime, and that would also give them their 14th loss on the season. It really does seem that this line should be – let's see how many games – I think the Lightning have won 7 in a row. I think that's right. Because I was thinking they are on a 7-game streak. The Blues are on a 2-game winning streak. There is a good riddle here for the Blues to get it done and give them the 14th loss and keep them at 14 series wins in the 43rd game. Just the fact that the Lightning can get 59 makes me nervous. And also that one game where, God, it was like everything lined up for that team to beat the Lightning and they didn't do it. I mean, they had everything. They had it was a close game. But yeah, I'm just the Lightning, man. They're hard to go against. So Buyer beware. But the Blues really do have a narrative. All right, Penguins can get their 41st win over Dallas. Dallas 41. Problem is Stars can get their 39th win against the Penguins. Penguins 39. So we got a double whammy there. Let's check out the head-to-head. Penguins. Whoops. Dallas Stars, 146th game. Penguins going for the 70th win. Stars going for the 65th all-time. Now, we do have a 65 date numerology. Stars going for the 65th win. On the 65 date numerology, they would get their 39th win. Penguins 39. But again, Dallas is 41. That's the danger here. Dallas is also 13. 91's the 13th triangular. Maybe the Penguins park it at 91 points in Dallas. Let's run some Gematria real quick. Let's see who they play. I've got Winnipeg next. Winnipeg equals 38. Ugh. Winnipeg's got 65 too. If they lost, they'd stay on 38 wins. Facing Winnipeg next. Big Jets. Jets 27. Let's see the Penguins play next. Penguins got the New York Rangers next. To have a chance at 94 points against the Rangers, they would either have to lose in a shootout or win this game. So they got the Rangers and then they got the Predators. Man. If the Stars didn't play Winnipeg next, I'd be definitely favoring the Stars here because they had that series record thing going. That hasn't been hitting every time though. So it's hard to just say because they can get the 65th win on the 65 series date, it's them. It does make me want to give them the edge. Because, again, 39th win against the Penguins makes sense. Staying on 30 in Dallas makes sense. Dallas is 1-1-3, the 30th prime. But, God, the next opponent's Winnipeg with the 38 connection. So, and the Penguins do have a narrative for a 41st win. Dallas is 41. Yeah, I think it's too close for comfort. I favor the Stars there, but I don't think it's a wise pick. Just because there's enough of a reason to believe the Penguins could get the upset. Flames and Canucks. Okay. The date numerology is not there. Let's see. Canucks. Vancouver Canucks. Power. Calgary. If the Canucks lost in a shootout, they'd be at 75 points after facing the Flames. That's one thing to consider. $278th game. Canucks going for 110. Flames going for 136. The 16th triangular. Let's see who they play next. Flames got the Kings next. Let me check that. Kings. Kings. I don't want to give that too much weight. I'm just noticing that LA Kings is 46. If they lost, they could go. But I'm not sure that's a good thing to do, the abbreviation. Where do the Canucks play? The Blue Jackets next. Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's see. Jackets. Jackets. Columbus. If they won or lost this game, they'd probably do the same thing against Columbus. If they lost, they'd have 33 losses, could pick up the 34th against Columbus. If they won, which is less likely, could have a chance at that 34th win against Columbus. Guess things I could consider the home and away records. I don't like using the home and away records just because they burn me a lot, but not a lot else to go off of here. Chance of it. Yeah, there's nothing definitive there either. I mean, there's no reason to, you know, I guess the only thing I can say, the only way a 33 and 74 can come together here, we do see 33 and 74 get paired off, and the only way it can happen is if the Canucks lose in regulation. They'd be on 33 losses and 74 points. That would also give the Flames their 47th win. That might be the best riddle on the board. Just how often 33 and 74, it's the only way it can happen in this game. Okay, Golden Knights, Red Wings. Vegas is 27. They can stay at 27 losses at home. We talked about this. The Golden Knights going into this game with 89 points and picking up their 91st. Remember, Detroit Red Wings is 89, and Detroit alone is 91. They can get the 91st points over Detroit. Too bad they're a big favorite. The one thing on the board for the Red Wings is Vegas is 27. They could get their 27th win against Vegas. Let's just check and see who these teams play next. I think there was something about the Golden Knights next game. The Blues. I still wonder about reflections of numbers like 39, 93. St. Louis has that 43 connection. The Golden Knights could go into that game with 43 wins. Blues has that 14 connection, 43 the 14th prime. Check the Red Wings schedule real quick. We've got the San Jose Sharks next. Jose. San Jose does have the 38 connection. If the Red Wings upset or lost in the shootout, they'd go into San Jose with 38. Sharks. Check something real quick. Las Vegas, Nevada is 43, and the Golden Knights likely get that 43rd home win tonight. That one more time. Okay. Man. Notice Golden Knights is 62 and 64. Could the Red Wings upset here? I'm just wondering now. I was on that advancing to 89 and getting the 91st points thing against Detroit before they even got to this game. But now I'm just thinking about it. Vegas is 27. They can get 27. Next opponent has the 38 connection. Golden Knights has the 62 and 64 connection. Golden Knights have a tendency to beat their opponents good. So, if you took the puck line on the Red Wings and they didn't win, there's a good chance they wouldn't cover it either. Golden Knights seem to win by big margins. And again, it would make sense for the Golden Knights to get those 91st points. It's a day of a lot of close calls, that's for sure. Ducks can get the 37th loss in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is 37. That would keep the Kings at 39 losses. Anaheim has the 39. So or wait a minute. Can't go both ways. Or no, yeah, it can. I think Kings got a good shot here. Kings give Ducks the 37th loss and stay at 39. Anaheim Ducks is 71. That's the 20th prime number. We got the 20-date numerology. Ducks. Anaheim Ducks. One more time. Let's see here. $140th game. Kings going for the 63rd win. Ducks at 62 losses. Or excuse me, Ducks at 62 wins. They're also going for the 63rd. No. I'm reading that wrong. Ducks at 66 wins, going for the 67th. Okay. See who they play next. Kings got Calgary next. The only thing that concerns about that is Calgary has that 41 connection. However, the Calgary 41 connection hasn't been hitting. I'm just seeing if the Ducks lost, they could pick up 41 against Calgary, which would probably be all but certain. That game's on a date with 67 numerology, and I think Flames is 67. Oh, Calgary 67. They got the Oilers. Flames. Calgary Flames is 60 as well. Their next opponent, they could stay on 60 points. God. Right when I was starting to feel good about the Kings. Let's see. Got the Vancouver Canucks next. Canucks 36. They could stay on 36 losses and face the Canucks. Vancouver. And they play Calgary too. If the Ducks lost 2 in a row, they could go into Calgary on 31 wins. Calgary's got the 31 connection also. On the surface, the Ducks on the surface, the Kings definitely have the better riddle tonight. Picking up the 37th loss against Los Angeles, 37. Kings staying on 39 losses against Anaheim, 39. That would also keep the Ducks again at 71 points on the 20-date numerology, 71 the 20th prime. So the immediate, if I was just looking at tonight, I'd be saying, okay, Kings all the way. But the problem is, man, the Kings' next opponent Calgary Flames has the 60 connection. If they lost this game, they could be primed for their 41st loss. Shit. Man, a lot of games, but just not a lot of great reads today. What's going on in these games up here? They're not refreshing. Well, this game looks like it's going to go to a shootout. That's what I was expecting. We'll see if the Devils lose in the shootout. But this game goes to a shootout, and you took the Devils on the puck line. Should be a winner there. And Islanders, again, can get those 93rd points against Philadelphia Flyers. Looks like our best games might be these morning games. Okay, so the Senators, this game could be an upset here. It was, let's see, 43rd game. Again, that's the 14th prime number. Edmonton Oilers is 191, the 43rd prime. Wait a minute. No, that's not what I meant. I meant Ottawa Senators. That's what I meant. Ottawa Senators 191, the 43rd prime. Got the 43rd series match. Both teams at 19 wins. Senators could stay at 43 losses. What was it? It was about the Oilers' next opponent, too. There was a reason that Senators had a fighting chance. Oilers play the Kings next. They play the Kings next. Kings have that 33 connection. Senators got the Sabres next. If they won this game, they'd have a chance at their 27th win against Buffalo, 27. Senators could be worth a go on the puck line. Rangers can keep the Maple Leafs at 44. Rangers is 44. And New York Rangers is 193, the 44th prime. The Maple Leafs' next opponent, I think it was the Florida Panthers. And they had the 95 connection. Florida Panthers was 95. So if they lost, they could get their 95th point against the Panthers. There's also a chance they go in there. But the Rangers could be worth a bet on the puck line, keeping the Maple Leafs at 44. Sabres do likely pick up their 34th loss against the Canadiens. Canadiens 34. The one concern there was just that they're a New York team, the Sabres are, and the Canadiens could stay at 39 wins. I swear there's some... Oh, Canadiens 173, the 40th prime. They'd get their 40th win at home. Hurricanes next. The Bruins-Panthers game is a bit iffy. Panthers equals 101. The Bruins can pick up the 101st points. They could stay at 20 losses on the 20-date numerology. It's just that Bruins equals 29. And the Panthers can stay on 29 with a loss and a shootout or a win. I'd say the Bruins have the better narrative here. Hurricanes Wild, we couldn't find much. If Hurricanes win, they get their 89th points. That's the 24th prime. Wild equals 24. Wild just got an upset, giving somebody their 24th loss. It's not a lot to go off of. Jets can stay on 44 wins against the Predators. Predators equals 44. Predators can stay on 27 losses against the Jets. Jets 27. Probably the best riddle there. The Lightning one's tough. It was the 43rd series match. Let me double check that was true. I believe it was. Verify, make sure. Yeah, 43rd series match. That's the 14th prime number. The Lightning have 14 wins against the Blues. Blues equals 59 and 14. The Blues upset today is giving the Lightning 14. Their 14th loss in this 43rd series match. But again, what's dangerous is just the fact that Blues is 59 and 14, so that riddle could go either way on the surface. Dallas equals 41. Penguins can pick up the 41st win in Dallas, where the game's at. Stars also have a shot at the 39th win. Penguins equals 39. The thing is, the Stars' next game is Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's 38. So, makes that really iffy. The Stars would be in Winnipeg with 38 wins. Again, the one thing about the Penguins getting the 41st win is it's in Dallas, and Dallas is 41. In the same breath, though, Dallas is also 13, and 91's the 13th triangular number. So I believe the Stars, was it the Stars? Let me check. Yeah, the Stars were going for their 65th win against the Penguins on this 65 date numerology. Again, that has not been a perfect pattern. It happens a lot, but not every time. So yeah, that game's just a little bit too close for comfort. We pointed out that the Canucks can get the 33-74 ritual only with a loss. With their 33rd loss, they'd stay at 74 points. As much as 33-74 hits, that's probably what happens there. Red Wings, Golden Knights. Detroit equals 91. Golden Knights can get the 91st points. However, Vegas equals 27. Red Wings could get the 27th win in an upset. Golden Knights equals 62 and 64. They could stay at 62 points or get their 64th. Their next opponent has the 38 connection. So Red Wings have a chance in an upset here, but in light of Detroit equaling 91, it's iffy. Vegas 27, though. They could get that 27th win in Vegas. And on the surface, Kings look good to beat the Ducks tonight. Los Angeles equals 37. Ducks pick up the 37th loss in Los Angeles. They stay at 71 points on the 20-date numerology, 71 the 20th prime. Kings stay at 39 losses against Anaheim. Very possible. However, the problem is the next opponent, the Calgary Flames, who have Gematria of 60. And Calgary is 41. So if they lost, they'd have a chance of getting their 41st loss against the Calgary Flames. And I'll tell you what, in the last week, I've come off a lot of games where the immediate riddle was good for one team, looking at the future, and then I said, damn, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stuck with the immediate one. But then there's also games where the immediate looks perfect and then they lose because it sets up the perfect future. So again, this is why you still want to look at the future. And it's always good to pick the games where it's like great for the immediate record and great for down the road. And usually when we pick that way, I mean, we probably pick well over 80% when we get that kind of alignment. Unfortunately, today, there's not a lot of that going on. It's just a lot of tight reads. So games I would take a stab at. Looks like the morning picks are going to be good. All right, so I hope you guys took my morning picks because that worked out. Islanders got the 93rd points with Philly. And Philadelphia Flyers 93. And I said that this game probably went to a shootout. And if you took the Devils on the puck line, you would you'd win this game. So you're going to win, even if I'm expecting the Devils to lose here, though, because their next opponent equals 64. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, you should have won on the morning games. All right, games to take a stab at. Senators are risky, but they have a chance to at least cover. Rangers, I'd take them on the puck line. Canadians should give the Sabres their 34th loss. Bruins probably win this game. A little bit of a risk there. I guess the 89th points over the team with the strong 24 connection probably does make sense. I just wish there was more, but I'd favor the Hurricanes there. Jets, I think they will stay at 44 against the Predators. That Lightning Blues game, if it was a better payout for the Blues to win, I'd be on it. But because the 59 and 14 can go either way, it's dangerous. But remember, there's multiple reasons to believe in that 14, especially it being the 43rd series game and the Lightning already being at 14 wins. And what was it? Was St. Louis 43 too? Yeah, St. Louis got that 43 thing going. Blues might very well upset there. Penguin Stars, I just think Stars have the better riddle for the immediate day, again, because they can also get the 65th series win. But in light of what's coming up, I'm scared of this game. And there's a real narrative for the Penguins to get the 41 in Dallas. Canucks should go to 33 losses and 74 points. Red Wings might be worth a puck line bet. They have a chance at the upset. But like I said, Golden Knights have a tendency to blow out the opponents. And God, the Kings have a good riddle just for tonight, but looking at the next game, it just scares me. So, scares me there. The next game scares me. Kings look good tonight, but the next game worries me about that one. Okay, and then NBA. Let's go back and review our NBA. The riddle goes both ways this way. Just my gut says Celtics get the job done because they got to win some big games here down the stretch. If the Hornets lose, they stay at 32 wins. Boston's 32. Boston's also 22. They can stay at 22 home wins with a loss. If they won, they'd stay at 39 losses in Charlotte. Charlotte 39. Heat Wizards. It's a game I'm laying off of. If the Wizards win, they stay at 43 losses. Miami Heat 43. If they lose, they pick up their 16th home loss. Heat 16. It's also Saturday. Saturday's 53, the 16th prime. So if the Heat won, also they'd stay on 37 losses. Wizards 37. DC on the 38th parallel. I just don't like that game. It's too back and forth. Hawks have a real narrative to upset the 76ers here. 76ers equals 15. They could get the 15th home win. But the thing is, Atlanta equals 48, and 76ers can get that 48th win in Atlanta, which is probably the number that trumps them all. They could also get their 26th loss, and Hawks is 26. Hawks is also 17. They could get their 17th away loss. A Hawks upset would really help out the Celtics. If I had to bet this game, I'd probably take the points for the Hawks, but I'd probably just really not bet this game. So the fact that the 76ers can get the 48th win in Atlanta, and Atlanta's 48, I think that is the number that hits. But it's risky. Hawks got the upset numbers. They're a real wild card team. Again, like I said earlier, if you can get the Bulls at a 10.5-point cushion, I'd take it. Utah equals 22. They've been dishing out the 22 on this road trip. It's the last game of their road trip. So Bulls with that 10.5-point cushion, I think that's a smart bet. Bulls only lost by 8 in Utah earlier this year. Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Memphis has that 43 connection. They can stay at 43 losses. 20-date numerology, they can get the 20th win. Timberwolves equals 71, the 20th prime. However, with regards to the 20, the Timberwolves can get their 20th conference win today and keep the Grizzlies at 20 conference wins. And there was something about the next game. That's right. The Grizzlies' next game is against the Thunder, and Thunder have that 45 connection. If the Grizzlies lost, they'd have a chance at their 45th loss against the Thunder. So that makes me nervous. Mavericks probably pick up the 31st loss in Oakland. Oakland 31. Mavericks 101, the 26th prime. Warriors probably get that 26th win. The one scare here is the Mavericks have played the Warriors really close every game this year. And if they beat the Warriors in this game, the Warriors would stay at 49 wins. Dallas equals 49. So does Warriors. That's the overlap number. The Warriors' next game is against the Pistons. Pistons have Gematria 49 and 50. So Warriors, if they lost, they'd be pretty much lock city for getting 50 against the Pistons. They could very well go into that game with 50 wins. Just the Warriors have played so weird this year and losing games to crappy teams at home. It would be deja vu if the Warriors lost this game. It doesn't seem like they should be this much of a favorite in light of how close the 3 games they've already played have been. Keep in mind, if the Mavericks won today, they'd be 1-3 against the Warriors this year, kind of like 13. Dallas equals 13 and 41, 41, the 13th prime. Golden State's 41. So Warriors wouldn't be much of a payout, and there is a slight risk that they lose. I think the Pistons stay on 37 losses in Portland, 37 wins in Portland. Portland's 37. Also, Blazers is 43, the 14th prime. So Pistons stay on 37 overall wins, 14 away wins. That's what makes sense to me today. Just the one caution is Detroit and Portland both sum to 37 and 44. The one argument is the Blazers could stay on 44. But in light of the Pistons being in Portland, I think that's what the number that really matters. They stay on 37. And again, they stay at 14 against the Blazers. Suns have been doing well on Saturday. Make sure I got this right. I'm pretty sure Sacramento Kings is 61. Yeah, it is. Sacramento Kings 61, the 18th prime. They could get their 18th win against the Sacramento Kings. They would stay on 30 away losses if they did. Kings is 30. Phoenix equals 35, and so does Suns. The Kings could stay on 35 wins. So, and we looked at the Kings' record down the road. It could make sense with a win or a loss. Suns with the points might be a risky bet worth taking, especially if the payout's there. So, definitely a risk, though. In light of it being Saturday with the 53 connection, 53 the 16th prime, Kings could get that 16th home loss too. So the games that I like the most in the NBA are the Blazers, the Bulls to cover this 10.5 point spread, and maybe the Suns to cover this spread as well. So, and again, other games, if you just want to put $1 down on the board on some of these teams just for kicks. I mean, I would favor the Celtics just to hold Hornets at 32 and 22 Boston numbers. I wouldn't even put $1 down on these Heat Wizards game. I'm so torn. Atlanta has a chance to cover, but I think that the 76ers ultimately pick up that 48th win in Atlanta just because Atlanta's 48. Timberwolves, Grizzlies. If I didn't know the future, if you couldn't tell me the future, I'd say, okay, I favor the Grizzlies, but because I do know the next game, that's what I mean by saying the future, who they play next. Just the fact that Thunder's 45 and that's their next opponent, it worries me. So if I was going to play the Mavericks-Warriors game, I might take the points just because all 3 games this year have been so close. And there is a chance of an upset. I'd probably rather just stay away from that game, though. Warriors also decimate teams here and there. So, all right, NHL, NBA, and then college basketball. Let's see here. So we got some games underway now. Wofford equals 30. They're at 30 wins. Kentucky equals 29. They can get their 29th win in this game. A lot of experts had Wofford picked to beat Kentucky. But again, I really think Kentucky and North Carolina are going to meet in the Elite Eight. That's because Kentucky came in with 128 wins. Tar Heels equals 128. Tar Heels could get their 128th tournament win over Kentucky in the Elite Eight. Maryland, they got edged out by LSU. Man. So, Tigers going places. Florida, I have them picked to upset Michigan because today has 65 numerology. Florida's 65. It's how I picked them to advance to this round. And the next round has 43 date numerology. Florida's also 43. If Florida wins today, they get their 21st win in Iowa. They can get that 21 in Iowa. So I'm sticking to my guns there on Florida. Another guy said I'm nuts. A guy who follows my work thinks Michigan's going to win the championship again this year. I'll believe it when I see it. Murray State, Florida State. Florida State just their big guy lost his father before the day of the last game. And we noticed that the father's name is Mike and Kofer, and Mike and Kofer, each name sums to 29. Florida State could get their 29th win today. The player's name equals 88. It's 88 days to his birthday. Florida State Seminoles is 88. So there's a real narrative for Florida State to win here. But Murray State also has a real narrative too. Ja Morant equals 29. Ja Morant's full name equals his real name equals 288. If Florida State lost, they'd be 28-8. So to me, this really is the wait and see game of college basketball. I'm just I'm really torn on that one, especially after the death of the Florida State player. Could that be a sacrifice that means Florida State's going to go deeper in the tournament than people expect? We talked about how the man died at 58 and Florida State's 58. We covered it earlier in the Decode. Okay, Baylor, Gonzaga. Again, this is the 35th March Madness. Gonzaga equals 35, Catholic 35, Baylor's 35. Gonzaga, if Gonzaga wins and gets to the Final Four, they'll have 35 tournament wins all time, and I expect them to do that since it's the 35th March Madness. By the way, FSU has the 35 connection. Whoever wins this game will play Gonzaga next, and I originally had Florida State pegged before anything happened to play Gonzaga because of the 35 connection. And I don't know why I didn't have that same. All right, I do know. I should have had that same logic with Baylor, but I just noticed that Syracuse had the 81 connection, and this is the 81st overall tournament. Michigan State got them playing Duke in the Elite Eight. Perfect team for Duke to beat. Plus, it was pointed out today that Zion Williamson's from Spartansville. Hello. Purdue, Boilermakers equals 87. If they win this game, they'll play on the 87th day of the year in the next round. So I'm sticking to my guns on that. I saw all the experts had Villanova picked to beat Purdue today, but again, Purdue Boilermakers 87. The next game's on the 87th day. I'm not coming off that. Kansas, their next tournament loss is the 47th. And if they win this game and North Carolina wins tomorrow, they'll probably get that 47th loss against the Tar Heels. Tar Heels 47. Remember the Zion Williamson shoe ordeal? Shoe equals 47. That was against the Tar Heels 47 days from the championship. So I think Kansas lives to see another day. So again, just real quick, expecting Kentucky to win this game. I think Florida's going to upset Michigan. I'm laying off this one. This is my wait and see game. Gonzaga, I expect them to win. Michigan State, I expect them. Purdue, I expect them. Kansas, I expect them. And no, I don't pick games just because they're favorites. I mean, obviously, I just, otherwise I'd be all over Michigan. I pick them just based on how the numbers line up and for the next round. So there's a reason behind each game, and there's a reason I'm laying off this one for the reasons stated. So, and again, congrats to Jonathan, man. Jonathan said he bet 50 yesterday and made nearly $1,000. So Jonathan had a great day going with the picks. Hope you guys have a great day with the picks. We'll wrap it up right there. It's about a 3-hour session. Again, I'm going to start tomorrow, Sunday. We're going to do a live Decode Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific. That's 11 Eastern. 8 a.m. Pacific. So we're starting 2 hours earlier than our normal time. And we're doing that because it's the tournament. So it's that special time of year, so we'll put in the extra hours. So I'll see you guys there tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. It's a lot of tight games in the NHL and the NBA, so, might be a day to just chill out. Do some observations, learn some more. Don't forget your date numerology. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Till next time.